Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is One on One, and I'm Lane Ashfield. I'm here today with poet and songwriter Connie Marotta of Imagesong. Hi, Connie, and welcome.
Hi, Lane. Thank you so much for having me here again.
Well, I was so impressed by your new song, A Beautiful World, that I wanted to hear you talk more about it. I'd love to hear more about how your poem Reveille influenced the song.
A few years ago, I was asked to write and present a poem at a forum on global healing and enlightenment at MIT in Boston. I had always resisted the poem as polemic, but on this occasion, I went very deep inside and got in touch with all of the deepest convictions, philosophies, and frustrations that had motivated me throughout my life. I also thought about the various practices I lived with in my never-ending quest for spiritual enlightenment and peace. The result was the prototype for Reveille, which I spoke at the forum. I've since reworked the original poem for a more personal statement. I have to admit, the poem was extremely satisfying to write, even cathartic, especially if I think there's a chance it can get out into the world.
Can you isolate some of the major themes in the poem for us?
The central and most overriding theme is that human beings have the potential to achieve happiness, peace, and fulfillment of desires, ultimately an expansion of consciousness that sees a unifying essence in everyone and everything, and understands that that essence is unconditional love. The way to that vision is by turning the focus of our sight from the outside, external world, and letting go to stillness and silence inside, to surrender to a fullness and an basically ineffable presence that allows us to glimpse a new and beautiful reality for ourselves and for the world.
Wow, that's a pretty tall order.
Yeah, I know it is, Lane. But maybe we can begin to approach it by at least acknowledging that expansion of consciousness is possible and that it might lead to a better world. A world, I might add, that we've not yet seen since the beginning of recorded history. My own personal experience tells me, though, that this truth lies within each of us. I also spent enough years studying the mystic and visionary traditions to know that there is a higher truth to be discovered in human consciousness. Truthfully, Lane, I don't expect this poem to single-handedly affect a paradigm shift in human consciousness. I'd be happy if it just made people stop and think about what's going on around them and help them believe that it was in their power to change things for their own good and for the good of all.
Well, with no further ado, here's Connie Marotta reciting her poem, Reveille.
Reveille. If only chanted litanies could change the course of centuries, would be enough, could be enough. If only silent sacred words could break the patterns, ancient pain, could shake things up, could wake us up, could light a spark that sets a flame. In time for the spirit's revolution, in time for the mind to assert its domain, in time for invisible wounds to heal, in time to re-identify. One heart, one mind, one earth, one humankind, one voice, one song. Wake up, it's time. The cosmos resonates with the call as high vibrations pierce through senses, cells, brain, emotions, mind. Divinity in whispers, whispers, resonating deep inside. A sleeping soul reverberates. Divinity, divinity. Promise in a vision shimmering in a golden light. How long will we remain content to die as we were born? We've sleepwalked long enough within our prison house of finite senses, crying in midnight black blind circles, frightened and alone, though we always did as we were told. How long? How long? We relinquish for profane our sacred choice and blame external forces as we desecrate the white wonder light blocked centuries untold, though all the while we're in control. We hold omnipotence, the starlight presence, chained and sleeping deep inside. Let's wake it now to new structure, new reality, fluid as mind source, freedom, our birthright, our power, our choice, our present, our future, all in our control. Wake up, wake up. How long? When will we start to wonder why we have a brain so intricate it could, if tapped, keep galaxies ablaze with light, yet we remain content to use it like a flickering candle, barely bright enough to move us through our days and nights? How long? How long will we accept the chains that hold us like we're slaves without a fight? How long? How long? We yearn for fullness, search for joy, then look for happiness in toys, more houses, cars, fancy clothes, gold and diamonds, cocaine, champagne, Chardonnay and Beaujolais. How long? We pine for fame and self-esteem, yet barter souls for mediocrity. We close our eyes to famine, torture, and disease, yet panic for security. Assert ourselves for national autonomy, autocracy, for armies, guns, and ammunition, missiles, bombers, landmines, barbed wire. Listen for the whisper. Love. Listen for divinity. How long before our sacred sun, our shining vital sentinel, becomes our bitter burning foe because we feel content each day to rape her darling jewel, her earth, with smokestacks, fossil fuels, burning oil fields, power tools, toxic stockyards, poisoned farms, atomic bombs. Such fools beyond contempt. How long? We think that we're awake and that we've reached the peak of civilization, perfect and complete, while little girls and boys lie trembling in their beds at night, approaching monsters' footsteps, fathers, uncles, pastors, priests, and women run in fear from husbands, boyfriends, brothers, men who should protect, respect them. Innocents are sold as slaves, imprisoned right before our eyes, too dull, too hypnotized, too blind to see. where hordes of homeless rave like Jeremiah in the streets, and others shrivel up from bitter loneliness in sterile mansions trimmed and neat. How long will we ignore the signs and symbols, hollow echoes of defeat, body surfing on the waves of change without the peace that lies beneath? How long without that peace? It's time to take a look at what we want our lives to be. Reverse direction of our sight. Look deep inside with newborn eyes. It's time to find the only place where real change resides. Divinity. Divinity. Look far beyond the dark of night, beyond illusion, earthbound sight. In silence, listen for the whisper. In solitude, seal the strong connection. In stillness, feel the warm vibrations. In darkness, bathe in a new light. To mind beams boundaries bend and stretch. Rest in an ineffable embrace. In timeless essence, taken unaware, let awe and wonder build, so filled that tears fall of their own accord. In the unspeakable softness, unexpectedly blessed, and wake into a moment new and fresh. New space for truth in a world of lies. Let's brush the sand and rub our eyes. New sight can light the fuse. Let's ride a cosmic chain reaction toward the light.
Wow, that's extremely powerful. Now I can see where A Beautiful World got its power and beauty from. Can you tell us a little about how the song was derived from the poem?
I felt increasingly frustrated that what I had to say in Reveille, what I felt so strongly about, would never get out into the world except in a pathetically small number. Especially with the recent election coming up, I was desperate to express my views. So I began to think that if I could get the major themes of the poem into a viable song, my message might have a better chance of getting out to greater numbers than the poem ever would. I isolated and abbreviated the major ideas and softened some of the imagery, and A Beautiful World was born.
I could imagine how frustrated you felt. I'm so glad you were able to convert your great ideas into an amazing and powerful song, and in time for the election as well.
Yeah, I know, Lane. It was close.
Now, for everyone's listening pleasure, here's A Beautiful World, sung by Alexis Cole, with Mary Dorman-Phaneuf on cello, Mike Eckroth on piano, and John Burr on bass.
I'm amazed at the silence buried deep in the raging winds, and the wild ocean breaths astound as I breathe with the endless sea. If only this wonder could burst like a rainbow and color the sky in a world turning gray. I walk through the forest, and stillness embraces me, And just like the ancient trees, I reach for the morning sun. If only the light beams could dance through the sky and wake up a world that's sleepwalking blind. But I cry, I rage, I hurt, I feel my heart break at the earth spinning out of control, scarred and burning with hate and fear and greed that has no soul. And I can't hold back the strangled cry. How long before it's too late to use our brilliant mind to save our precious jewel and turn from fool's gold? I look at my life that's always been blessed with love, and for years now I've shared a love that's a beautiful fantasy. From morning till night, my gratitude flows like a soft blessing through me. But I can't ignore the anguished cries in voices that feel they have no control over centuries, laws, and lies that masquerade as truths and tear apart our lives. And how long will we accept these chains that bind us when all the help that we need is there within our minds, a shining higher truth, our human birthright? I seek quiet solitude, away from the angry crowds. I find my safe resting place and bathe in a soft white light, where hope comes in gentle vibrations that play like a song flowing through me. It's the place to find the peace we need that's deep inside, a space for truth in a world of lies, a place where beauty reigns, a place where love defines. One earth, one heart, one mind, one human kind.
That is one powerful, beautiful, and unique song. It was really great having your explanation of Reveille right before it. I could really see how you so artistically worked the major themes into the song. I also want to mention that the video for the song is also incredible, and you are all in for a great treat if you haven't seen it already. It's available on YouTube, and I'll put a link directly to it in the description of today's podcast.
Thank you so much, Lane. I hope with all my heart that my message will get out and help spark a movement toward a better, kinder, and more loving world.
I'm sure it will, Connie. It was an honor and a great pleasure having you here today, and I look forward to having you back here with us again soon.
Once again, I can't thank you enough for having me, and I certainly look forward to returning.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the show today with Imagesong's great poet and songwriter, Connie Marotta. Thank you all for listening, and I wish you love.